They concentrate on something called the direct switch. That means hopping from the BMW right into a Jaguar, then back into the BMW. The sales staff get to act like test drivers, accelerating, taking curves at top speed, and braking hard. It's an exciting day of driving.
Well, this is a car that in the U.S. customers have been waiting for 15 years, because that's when the last 6 Series was sold. So they have very high expectations about the agility and the sportiness. So you really want to promote the performance of the car, the fact that it's very agile, very easy to drive, and that you can drive it very aggressively and fun every single day.
In the same way that a new automobile has to make test drives, the machines that make it have to go through test runs before the car can be produced. Robots are a vital part of this process. All have to be taught their new jobs. In a few months, this factory will have to mass produce thousands of cars. All have to be exactly the same. Getting the robots working properly is the only way the company can meet the demand they hope the new car will create. Every part that leaves this workstation is immediately examined. Measurements are taken down to the last millimeter. Robots check themselves to make sure everything is right.
My ideal factory is one in which you can realize the goals you've set for yourself. By that I mean production level, costs, and above all, quality.
The new 645 Ci isn't like other BMW cars. It's a unique combination of aluminum and steel. New welding, riveting, and adhesive techniques all had to be designed to build the automobile. The newly trained robots are finally up to the job. But it can't all be done by machine. The most difficult welding joints in the front section still have to be done by hand. No robot has been able to master the enormous variety of movements that are necessary to do this work. One of the many intriguing parts of the new car is an aluminum tube that connects the motor and the instrument panel. In the past, aluminum tubes like this had a very limited use. Their shapes were confined to whatever could be welded or pressed or bent. Today, high pressure is used inside the tube to form them into shapes that were impossible several years ago. The new technology helps the car slim down. Frames and axles made this way can be 35% lighter, but still be as firm as in the past. Along with new mixtures of steel and aluminum, the 645 Ci has also taken a page from Formula One racing. A sequential manual gearbox, or SMG, is an option on the new coupe. It copies the style of shifting perfected on the tracks of the Formula One circuit. The F1 cars are faster, but the new coupe boasts that it can go from 0 to 60 in a little more than 5 seconds. And just like Formula One, the heart of the new sports car is its engine. The 8-cylinder motor produces the power and performance demanded by the people who will buy this car. While robotics are the key to the body of the car, fine craftsmanship remains an essential part of making motors. Constant testing of the engine ensures it will perform on the road. Even in ways it likely won't ever be put to the test after it leaves the factory. Patricia Geller-Schroeder is responsible for the new sports car's engine. So far, she likes what she hears.
The driving performance has clearly been improved. We're doing pretty well, even better than we'd planned at the beginning of the project. There's still some fine-tuning we have to do on the exhaust system to get the sound just right. What the sound says about us has to be what we want it to say.
No one wants an engine that sounds small or underpowered. The right sound is as important to customers as the right look. To make sure that sound is being produced, careful recordings are made. To hear properly, all other sources of noise are minimized. Tape covers anything that could rattle or hum and interfere with the rumble of the engine. The sound of the car needs to be recorded, not just so engineers can decide if it purrs like a sports car should. The engine needs to meet certain standards for both noise and emissions. This car is the first one to be tested using the exhaust system that will soon be mass-produced and placed into the 645 CI. The microphones record a dense, powerful sound. Volume and emissions are within legal limits.
For both the convertible and the hardtop, we've managed to achieve the goals we set for ourselves. So that when you're going high speed on a country road, the driver can really hear the driving noises. But when you're driving at normal speed on an expressway, let's say you're driving at 70 miles per hour, we want you to hear a balanced mixture of wind, rolling noise, and driving noise.
Okay.
And if there's a particularly strong engine load, then we want that to be clearly heard inside the car as well.
While engineers are happy about the sound of the car, the production line is about to get an unpleasant surprise. After years of design and testing, an important part of the car won't fit. Production Hall 52 at one of BMW's largest plants. So-called pre-series models of the company's new sports car have been made. Before mass production begins, each of these pre-series cars must be tested. If a mistake creeps in now, it will be repeated thousands of times.
They're testing, and they're looking for mistakes. The kind of thing an especially critical buyer might notice. They also look at things a purchaser would probably never see. That means they really look under the lining in paneling.
Test driver Stefan Menaker takes a pre-series convertible out for a spin. Over 30 kilometers at high speeds, he tests everything. During the stopover, he tries to put the windows up. He can't. Imagine buying a $100,000 car where the windows don't work. Back at the factory, they already know about the problem. Engineers say they can fix it in 2 weeks. Not everything can be manufactured at the main BMW plant. There are just too many parts. A subcontractor works on the instrument panel, painstakingly molding individual pieces of leather together. This is the master pattern. If mistakes are made here, they will show up in every single car that's made.
Gut, die bemängelten Punkte haben wir nachgearbeitet nach dem Protokoll.
This version of the instrument panel will never get near the inside of a car. When the work is finally done, a metal impression of this panel will be made. It's this metal version of the panel, essentially a mold, which will be used to make the dashboards that will be seen in cars around the world. Another company is responsible for the next step of the process. When the metal impression arrives, it's put to work. A plastic skin protecting it is removed.